Morning, everyone. It's Julie here from Think Be Do Leadership, and today I want to ask: do you have the boss factor? One of the things that I see so often when I'm working with my clients is that they put themselves under pressure to be the do all and the be all of their business or of their team if they're in a department, and they as a leader they feel that they have to do all of these things and be able to answer every question, be able to micromanage and check and do and feel the pressure of making things happen. And the problem with that is that actually that's not the boss factor. That's completely the opposite of what I call the boss factor, because you are a bottleneck in the business if you are being asked, what do I do next? How do I do this? Or you have people waiting at your door or on your email for your next decision. And the problem is that one, that's not sustainable for you. Two, you can't grow a business like that because you can't, there isn't any more of you. You can't get any more hours in the day. And therefore, you are constrained by your own self. And what it also means is that you may find that people become apathetic. You are um, undermining their enthusiasm, you are removing their desire to work with you and for you. And so what actually it means is that you're going to end up with a smaller business, not a bigger business. And so what we want to do is take away you as an obstruction in the business and you as an obstruction to the performance of your team. You don't want to be the friction that they're seeing. And what we need to do instead is we need to create a capable, collaborative and committed team of people who, probably the most important thing in your business is to be able to make good decisions in your business or in your department, wherever you are, without you. And that's not so that you can completely leave, but what I mean is that they don't need you to be able to perform. They don't need you because you've set them up for success. And when you set them up for success, it means that you can trust them to do a good job. You can trust them to take on the ideas and the responsibility, and they have the autonomy to be able to go ahead and just get on with it whilst you're doing other things, whether that is growing your business, whether that is being on holiday or, in a meeting, more strategic things, whatever you're doing, is to be able to let them do it and let them get on. And so that's what really the boss factor is the ability to step back and be friction free. And you might say, that sounds lovely, Julie, but how do we do that? And to be honest, I mean, I see it so often that I think, why is this so difficult for us all? And it's difficult. And it's because we care so much and we want things to be right. And we also want them to be, often because we have a vision, we want them to be the way that we want them to be. But the mistakes that we're making is that we're not doing three specific things that allow other people to be as committed as us, to be as effective as us, or more generally. Actually, probably more in certain areas, and to show us what they can do. So there's three things that we need to do, and I'm making a list because I always forget what I want to say. So, as I said before, we need people to be committed, but we also need them to be confident and capable. And what happens a lot of the time is that they may be committed, but we don't think they're capable, or they're not, or they don't feel capable, or they're not confident to make those decisions in the business. And what that means is that even though perhaps they have a skill, then we aren't setting them up to be able to utilize that skill in the right way. Okay. And so what we need to do is we need to, if you just imagine what we're actually doing, our job is to give them that confidence to make those decisions, which means that we have to back them up, we have to support them, and we have to believe in them. But we also have to coach them so that they understand, what does it look like to make the right decision in the business. So on a big picture, we need them to be understanding, what are we trying to achieve, and to be, as we said before, committed to that. Okay, so they need to choose whether they want to get on board, but unless we tell them that, we don't know what it is. So we need big picture commitment to what we are all trying to achieve, so they get on the bus. Yeah, but is the word little picture? I'm not entirely sure. Whatever the word is, don't know. But coming in for the little picture, what I mean is that it's all very well knowing, that big picture of, well, this is where we're going, but what's the way in which I help you to get there? What's my role in that? That means that we need to be able to say, well, I could draw the strings down from, okay, if that's the big picture, this is my role. So I need clarity about what exactly do you want me to do to make that happen? Now, that's where coaching somebody comes in, because we need them to think about that. We need them to put the jigsaw pieces together. Otherwise, we just have to keep feeding them and telling them what to do all the time, which doesn't suit you because you have to micromanage. It doesn't suit them because it completely disables them. It stops them from thinking for themselves, and then they think, well, I don't even want to be here. So they step back and then they disengage, and then we get that apathy. So we don't want that. We want to enable them by making sure that they understand on both levels, that big picture and that little picture of what is it I'm doing and why am I doing it, so that I can get in. Okay. And the confidence comes from our ability to coach instead of instead of directing. Okay. The minute that we start coaching people and not telling them the answer, but helping them to work it out for themselves, is the minute they become confident and capable in your business, and they then can take you where you want to go, or your business where you want to go, instead of you trying to drag them there. And it makes for a much, much better team. It makes for a much more profitable and productive business. And you don't have so many people leaving. You don't have to keep paying for recruitment, and you don't have to keep worrying about whether they are going to do the job, because they've probably already done it before you thought about it. Okay. So don't let yourself be the bottleneck by thinking that you need to do everything and be the one, when actually what we're doing is saying, no, let them be the one, let them grow, and have faith in them, but set them up for success. Don't just abdicate your responsibility, but set them up for success by coaching them, giving that big picture, drawing those strings down, and making sure they're really clear about how a good decision looks like in your business. And then what would you do, essentially knowing what you would be thinking, knowing how you would be thinking, and then setting them up to have the support from you, not to be blamed if they make a mistake, but to be supported in how they grow and make those decisions. Now, when you do that, that means that you are then creating a really, really autonomous, capable, enthusiastic team of people who don't need you. And that's hard sometimes, but when they don't need you, that is a good thing for your business, because that means that's when your business can actually grow sustainably. Okay, if you want some help in understanding, well, how do I actually do that with my team? How do I give them the right information? How do I coach them? How do I make sure that they're set up to succeed? Then give me a shout, message me, and we will talk about your team and about what's going on and what they actually need from you, and how we can give you the skills to have that boss factor rather than to be the bottleneck in your business. So give me a shout, and let's see what we can do, because 2024 is the year of the team.